Welcome back, everybody, to Verdane TV. It is NEPs night in America, baby. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth alongside me, Aaron, Aaron Creed. We're here in Atlanta for the Sensitivity Training 65 because, Aaron, everybody could use a little sensitivity training. Am I right?
Yeah, especially after some of these weeks, these work weeks, or a week that we didn't have any NEP racing. So glad to be back. I flew in my personal helicopter into the Atlanta Motor Speedway helipad, and I think we're just about ready to go.
I thought that was you flying in on the old Hopter down there. Pretty cool to see. And another thing really cool to see, Mike Hopkins, tonight's sponsor of the Sensitivity Training 65, easy enough for me to say, starting up in the top five. Great qualifying effort for that number 78 team. And you can see up front, that front row, the 99 and the 4, Steve Daddio and Kenny Kibbe.
Row number 2, we got Corey Casagrande and Brent Roy. And you mentioned Hopkins starting in 5th. Alongside of him is Ryan Libby, who's coming off of a pretty good run a couple weeks ago.
Easy to spot this guy here, starting 7th. Keith Lord, see what I did there? Devin Marhefka in the 22, starting in 8th. Ryan Messers, Scott McDonald going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, as we continue to look through the remainder of the field, you got Dale Glessner in 11th. Evan Boyer was our winner last time out, if I remember correctly. My short-term memory is sometimes not very good, but I think I'm correct there. Austin Belke starting 13th. And then in 14th, we have our new unofficial Ironman in this NEP league, Brandon Uhouse. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we go racing here shortly.
Yeah, special stats brought to you by the Statman, RSal TV. Ryan Salvatore hooking us up with some pretty incredible stats. Like you said, we'll get to it a little bit later on here in the show. Kyle Casagrande, Adam Henry, great debut here a couple weeks ago on Verdane TV, starting in 16th. There you see Spencer Davis, Brandon Marhefka back in 18th, and there's Ryan Salvatore starting 19th. Charles Lewandowski on his outside.
And outside the top 20, Jeff Brown, welcome him back as well. He was not with us a couple weeks back, but he's back and ready to have a solid lead lap finish. And we're going green. Stephen Daddio and Kenny Kibbe leading the field to the green flag. Who's going to get that front spot going into turn 1 here?
Now, you and I are both big-time fans of short track racing. Kind of talked a little bit before we went on the air. This is kind of unique for the NEP series. Big track, mile and a halfer. Looks like Evan Boyer having some issues going down below. That's Ryan Messer in the one car going down below the line there. And, man, there's drivers all over the place. The 3 up into the wall, the 62 getting a piece of it as well. Little bit different item on the menu here for the NEP guys. Big racetrack, mile and a half. Speedway racing. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. There's going to be a lot we're going to have to keep up with tonight.
Yeah, lots of room to race here on this older Atlanta Motor Speedway configuration that we've kind of resurrected here for this season. And right now it's Stephen Daddio out front, but Brent Roy's trying to track down the current point leader, Kenny Kibbe, in second. A lot of them using that higher line in the corners.
Yeah, and you can already see throughout the field, everybody trying to pick a different line, trying to find something that works for them, whether it's the high side, the low side, or what have you. Got to take a quick peek at the points standings. Kenny Kibbe running in second place right now, has the point lead, 26 markers over Reagan Parent. Stephen Daddio going to be in third place, 30 points back. Evan Boyer in fourth. John Peters not in the field tonight, is in fifth in points. So going to be a big points deficit after this one for the 09 crew.
Yeah, that might be the final nail in the coffin there for the championship race for him to repeat, as he has done the last few seasons. But you never know. We 4 more races after this weekend, or this week here at Atlanta. I wish it was the weekend already, but unfortunately for some of us, it's not. But these guys having a good time on Thursday evening. The ones that have been able to make it out this particular week, 26 in the field. And a lot of drivers taking that really low line there on the backstretch to see how it shakes out. I think that was Brandon Newhouse that time by. But everyone's been able to file back in and get things straightened out going into turn 3 and 4. And we remain under green for the first 5 laps of this race. Some very close racing going on still.
Yeah, a little bit of squirrely early on here. Drivers just getting used to being up to speed. One of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. You can see everybody pretty much gotten it, sorting it out here. Single file for the most part. You can see Glessner going to take a peek down low on the 46 to see if he can maybe get a little bit of track position gain there. You see the 78 still holding on to that top 5. Great run for Hopkins so far at Atlanta. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 46 and the 10. They're still side by side.
Yeah, Glessner's had a lot of good momentum here to start off, and even with that little slippery move there entering the trial, he's able to pull off that pass for 6th. Started in 11th spot, one of the bigger movers in this race already. Regan Parent's another one who it's not the first time this season we've seen him start towards the back. He's up to 14th already, but let's watch this battle right now. Libby has slipped up a little bit. We got Devin Marhefka and Keith Lord running to the inside to get by him. Ryan Messer also trying to follow potentially here. Now he moves to the inside. And, when we get around to making some pit stops, Libby might be one of those that may have to take a look at the setup and make some tweaks to the number 46 cars. Now Spencer Davis, the lone home state racer here, originally from Dawsonville, Georgia, makes a pass as well and enters the top 10.
Yeah, and you can see Libby dropping back one more position. Going to try and get back down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Maybe see if he can get a little bit of grip to get itself to run up in those front of the tires. There you see a little side-by-side battle back behind Reagan Parent. You made mention 11 spots gained from where he qualified. And behind him, a little side-by-side action between the 16 of Dylan Kopech down there on the bottom, and the 56 of Evan Bollier up around the top side. You can see Kopech able to make the pass, but Bollier slides on down, does a little crossover action. He's going to try and take that spot back on the bottom.
Yeah, Bollier a little further back than we're used to seeing him. But, he's another one of those drivers where it's kind of, early on, sometimes you don't see him battling for the top spot, and then later on you will. But Ryan Libby with a major issue there in the 46. I have to find out what that might be. Don't normally see any kind of mechanical issues with these cars, but he was really falling all the way back, and he's going to make an early pit stop on the 46. We'll see if this is a scheduled stop, and doesn't look like it. It's he might be done for the evening. It's Stephen Daddio leading the 10th lap of the evening as he continues to lead Brent Roy. And I noticed Kenny Kibbe has slipped back a couple spots. Right now, Corey Casagrande and him battle for the 3rd position.
Corey Casagrande all the way up on the top of the racetrack, high, wide, and handsome for the 7 CT, going to complete that pass and get up into the 3rd position, back up to the 3rd position. It's actually where he qualified. Great qualifying effort for Casagrande, and you can see just going even closer to the wall this time around. That's going to be fun to watch throughout the rest of this race.
Yeah, definitely, and Connecticut drivers doing a good job. 3 of them in the top 5 right now. We've got a yellow flag as Brandon Marhefka is on the apron, and I see some smoke ahead of him. We'll see what happened here shortly with the U-House Racing Designs replay.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs instant replay and see if we can take a peek. You saw Marhefka off the pace there, and it looks like a multi-car incident, but it looks like there might also be a couple of things happening here. So we'll take a look at it from the blimp, because we can do that. It's our show, and we've got a blimp, so we're going to utilize it. Focus in on Marhefka there. You can see the white and black car there, about the center of your screen. Everything looks good coming out of the corner, heading on to the backstretch. A little bit of a slip up there. You can see the contact between the two of those guys. Let me back that up one more time there. A little bit too far. Got to get the old eyes taken care of once again. Kyle Casagrande in the 7 car. A little bit squirrely, a little bit of a tap, and that turns into a great big tap, slamming the inside wall down there for Marhefka in the 13. It's going to be a quick opportunity to maybe take that quick repair, and you can see he's going to come down pit road. Spencer Davis, Scott McDonald, Bobby Shipp, Jeff Brown, they're all going to come down. Brian Shipp as well, and Adam Henry in the 62. They're all going to come down pit road here to maybe take some tires, get some of that damage kind of worked out. We did see some cars kind of get together early on in the first 5 or so laps. So a little bit of residual damage for some of these guys, and just an opportunity to kind of make sure everything's tight and get back after it here after the first caution.
Yeah, Brandon Marhefka, nowhere to go there in the 13 car. Tough break for him, but see if he can gather it back up, get some damage repaired there, and then head back out there. And also a great opportunity fairly early on still. We're pretty much not even 20% into this race. For a few drivers that were further back in the field, maybe to play the strategy game just a little bit, and we'll have to see if when these leaders come in a little bit later on, if they stay out and take that track position. But right now we got Stephen Daddio. He will be leading Brent Roy Kenny Kibbe, Corey Casagrande, and Mike Hopkins having a great run right now in fifth. And I think this time by we may see a one to go signal. We'll see if that happens. And go back to racing here. It was a pretty quick cleanup. And no, it looks like we're going to go another lap here. And so a lot going on here in this sensitivity training. Easy for me to say, 65. And there's been a lot going on, though, with Vidane TV, though, Paul, right?
That there has been going 3-4 nights a week here, Tuesday nights. We actually just wrapped up this past week with the Kartplex iRacing Series up in Western Canada. They've been a lot of fun to watch. Tuesday nights, we're still working with the Liberty Racing League. They got 5 or 6 races left to go in their Super Speedway Series, getting into their playoffs. They got a championship belt that they're going to be giving to their series champion. That's going to be pretty cool to watch there on Tuesday nights. Wednesday nights, the RBR Maritime Group, some of the quickest sim racers from Eastern Canada. You actually see the one car, Ryan Messer, run there all the time. He runs weekly there as well as here. Kind of Vidane TV's Iron Man. He's in everything we broadcast, it seems like, in that one car. And lots of cool stuff coming up. We got 4 races after this one coming up every Thursday in March for the NEP series. And going to be taking a little bit of time off in the springtime, summertime from the iRacing gig. Mainly because I want to focus on the real racing world, get up to Stafford Speedway, help out the boys and gals that rent a race car, and I've got my own enduro car that I'm trying to get put together for Waterford Speed Bowl. So still going to have some racing content on Vidane TV. It won't necessarily be iRacing, though, so definitely stay tuned for that. We're already penciling in the 2023-24 iRacing Winter Series. Going to be a lot of cool stuff coming back to us. We're going to have an entirely new look coming up next winter. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. A lot of cool people now kind of working behind the scenes here with us. So lots of new projects as well. So definitely keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on us on socials. If you like what you're seeing, give us that like, the subscribe, the follow, all that good stuff on all of the social media outlets. And we're live all over the internet. We're taking over in 2023. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, and as well as Vidane.net. If you need you a hat or a t-shirt, be sure to grab one. We got Rent a Race Car t-shirts, hats, Vidane TV, Angry Tree Guy, Liberty Racing League, all sorts of cool stuff. Check that out. Use that promo code LIBERTY for 10% off at checkout. And speaking of things to check out, we're all lined up 2x2. The iRacing pace car lights are out. Daddy-O and Roy are going to give us a restart here on lap number 15.
Yeah, let's have some fun once again. And first restart of the evening. And we're going to see they get a little loose there, and they're waiting until that start-finish line, really, to get going here. A little bit of fanning out going on a little further back, but Stephen Daddio able to get to the front for this restart. Kenny Kibbe battling back after falling to 4th spot. Looks like he's going to take 2nd from Brent Roy. Maybe not so fast. Roy coming back on the outside there, getting the speed off of turn 2. And they continue to duel for that runner-up position. Corey Casagrande running 4th, and now Devin Marhefka up to 5th as Mike Hopkins loses a spot and falls to 6th.
You can see Hopkins in that 78 still trying to utilize kind of that middle to high groove there. Drop back just a couple of spots, but just looks like he's trying to get his momentum back. And you can see kind of going up and has a huge run there on the 22 of Marhefka, but once they get up to the exit of the corner, kind of run out of room there, and the 78's got to kind of let off just a little bit. So still a quick car, it looks like, for Hopkins. Tonight's sponsor, the Sensitivity Training at 65, and it just has to try and get that thing sorted out, find the right line. That might have been it, because how about that run on the 22?
Yeah, he's doing a great job here at Atlanta, and yeah, he's got a run on Devin Marhefka right now, definitely. And, we'll have to see if he can pull off that pass him back here as we continue under green here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hopkins had a good run, finished 10th last season at Atlanta, so he's definitely shown some speed here before. Right now, the winner last year's Atlanta event, Evan Boyer, he's actually worked his way into the top 10 for the first time today. He runs in 9th right now, but we continue to watch this battle for 2nd. Neither of these drivers, Brent Roy or Kenny Kibbe, have let up.
Yeah, the Camry Kid up into the outside wall just a little bit about a lap ago. Does not look like that 26 car has slowed down. Brent Roy doing a great job up on the high side. Still door handle to door handle with the number 4 of Kibbe down on the bottom side of the track. And they're still both trying to chase down that 99 car at Daddio. Casagrande back in fourth. Hopkins still in fifth.
Yeah, a lot of great racing going on, and these guys are right on Steven Daddio's tail now. As they continue to battle, they're right there with Daddio for the lead. So a lot of great racing going on. Hopkins back to fifth once again. The Constitution State doing a great job right now, running first, fourth, and fifth. Is that what it's called? Is that what Connecticut's called? I thought that's what it was called.
I think that's what some people call us. I feel like we have a lot of nicknames, though. There's some good, some bad, some we can't say in the air.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably the most appropriate one. That's for sure. As we ride with Corey Casagrande from the Dirty Springs of Connecticut, running in fourth. And now we ride with Kenny Kibbe with that orange interior from the Wolverine State of Michigan, battling with, I'm not sure what you call, what province Brent Roy's from. I don't know what I'm not as familiar with the province nicknames and if they have them up there in Canada, but Brent Roy's doing a good job, though, for the Canadian flag and for that Flow Racing sponsorship on his race car, running in the second spot. And we just saw a scrape with the wall as Corey Casagrande goes backwards.
Yeah, got up into the outside safer barrier just a little bit. You saw enough of a scuff on the 7CT car and slowed him down just enough, and Lord was able to take a peek down low, and you can see he's trying to take that spot from him. Casagrande dropping back just a couple of spots from where he started in this race. Still in the top 10, but dropping backwards. Evan Bollier has a great shot of this side-by-side battle right in behind him in the 56 car with Dale Glessner taking a peek down low, running a kind of right up on the middle groove there. How about this guy, Jason Ricker, the number 9 car? I don't think we've said his name all night long. 14 spots gained here from where he qualified, just breaking himself into the top 10. And on the outside looking in, Reagan Parent, he's also gained 14 spots, running at 11.
Yeah, great run by Reagan Parent. And Jason Ricker, early in the season, we said a lot about him. He had a lot of great qualifying runs, led a lot of laps, but I feel like, we haven't really talked a whole lot about him in recent weeks, but he's given it a good run right now in the 10th spot. I'm looking for more as he's right there with Glessner and Bollier. The number 9, Corey Casagrande, once again in the 7CT. He's slipping back a little bit. I think once I started talking about Connecticut there, that kind of put the pressure on them a little bit. So right now, Casagrande trying to hold on there in the 7CT for 7th spot at the moment as they went by a slower car there that was on the apron. I think that was Adam Henry, who's been having some struggles. Brandon Marhefka still having a good, still on the lead lap, running in 19th with that damaged race car. Steven Daddio, though, back out front in that number 99 and is actually pulling away just a little bit. But Brandon Marhefka, we saw him pull off a pretty exciting win here a few weeks back, didn't we?
That we did, and a little bit of work to do here tonight, but still early on yet. About a third of the way through this race, maybe a little bit better than that. Ryan Messer dropping back way outside the top 10, back in 20th in that number 1 car. A little bit of damage, it looks like, on the front of that car. Scott McDonald back here as well. Jeff Brown getting around the 48 car there of Brian Shipp. 23 cars still on the lead lap here, and only 1 caution earlier on so far. A little bit of a misunderstanding, I guess we could call it there, within the first 5 laps. Little bumper car action there as we crossed the stripe. We stayed clean and green for that, and we've only had the 1 caution so far here, working lap number 25. Everybody's still trying to chase down the 99 of Steve Daddio.
Well, you could see it as we were panning through some of the field there. The bumper car action is some of the backs of those race cars. We're looking a little crumpled, but right now it's been clear and out front for Steven Daddio, leading the way, having a great run in this number 99 car. He's been a front runner in the points here, running 3rd in the points right now, but has yet to win this season. So he's looking to finish that off in the number 99 and hold off of Kenny Kibbe, who has won on a couple of actually he's only won on 1 occasion, but we see him out front and on the podium so many times it feels like he's won so much more. And there he is once again in that 2nd spot. He's been so consistent this season, and he's going to be hard to beat as we kind of come down the stretch here when it comes to the NEP remainder of the season.
Yeah, you can count the amount of races left on one hand, 4 of them after this one. You can see the 22 car going to slide on up into the 3rd position. Now back down on the bottom side. Mike Hopkins with a run down on the bottom side. He's able to get back around Keith Lord there in the 17, and Hopkins actually setting his sights on the back of the 26 car. How about that?
Yeah, It's interesting to see how the outside line and the inside line kind of keep changing around a little bit. I mean, we saw Brett Roy get up there to the second spot by using that outside line, and now it doesn't seem to be working as well as it was before. Maybe using up those tires just a little bit too much, but Hopkins racing to the inside he hasn't cleared him yet, but he's on his way to fourth spot. And how about Devin Marhefka running in third? He only has one top 5 all season long, so doing a great job there in the number 22. We'll see if he can continue that throughout the remainder of this race as we are closing in gradually on halfway.
And there you see Hopkins able to complete the pass. Lord's going to take a peek, though, down low on the number 78 car to see if he can get that position back. All battling for the top 5. Brent Roy just on the outside looking in, currently scored in that 6th position. And you can see when these drivers are running side by side, you can almost tell there's a great shot of it, the 17 NH. It almost looks like he needs just a little bit more racetrack, as does Hopkins down in the bottom side, and they kind of meet in the middle. They both have to lift just a little bit, and it really is able to, it makes it so they can close the gap. There you see Brent Roy really able to close up on the back bumper there. So it's interesting to see how these guys are kind of manipulating their lines when they get side by side like that. And look what the fresh air does for the 78. He's starting to pull away.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. We're still in the first half of this race, barely. But I feel like some of these drivers, they're just trying to test how their car is going to react when they run a specific line. So we saw that Keith Lord was kind of running a different line on a couple different laps there. So we'll see what continues to happen as Brent Roy continues to fall back, and I think he's coming down pit road as Austin Belke goes by in the number 24, and he almost lost it, and he did kind of almost, but keeps going in that Toyota. So he'll get down pit road, might lose a couple seconds there with that show he put on coming down pit road, but gets it slowed down enough. And I don't know. Do you think we're going to see some more pit stops here? Are these guys going to try to stretch it to show that they can make it past halfway?
No, I think at this point Brent Roy's going to force the hand of some of these lead lap cars. We've actually seen Brent do this many times throughout, well, not many times, a couple of times throughout the season here, forcing the drivers to kind of pit just a little bit early because you get so much of an advantage with those fresher tires. We can take a look here on the Verdane TV scoring tower. Those times right there next to each of your favorite drivers is the best lap time of the race. You can see Daddio with a 31.89 flying around this place. KB with a 32.01. Last time by, though, you could see these guys are in the 33.5 second lap. So with Brent Roy taking these tires here on lap number 31, 32 or so, he's going to really be able to make up a lot of ground with those fresher tires. So you can already see Dale Glessner going to take advantage of this as well. Ooh, overshot just a little bit. Corey Casagrande hard on the binders back there as well. But green flag pit stops kicking off here right at the halfway marker.
Pit entries quite treacherous today. And yeah, it's interesting to see how quick the fall off is with the lap times. But, you know, this configuration of Atlanta, it's tough on the tires. It's an older surface. And right now, though, Daddio and Kibbe continuing to stay out. You're past halfway now. So we'll see. That could mean that they can stretch it and make it only on one pit stop. But it seems like if we remain green, it seems like pretty much everyone can do that the way it's looking. Just based on the fact that even Brent Roy, you know, came in on, I think it was around lap 30 or 31. So right now, Daddio and Kibbe continuing their ways out front, but I think it's going to be pretty soon that we see them come down pit road.
Yeah, and you know we're going to see a couple of different strategies throughout this one. If you're a guy like Mike Hopkins, you're running up in the top 5, you qualified 5th, and you haven't won a race all season long, but you want to try and make a gamble. Maybe you stay out. Maybe you try and wait for a late race caution. Everybody else pits again, and you get all that track position from staying out here. But I don't have to make those decisions anymore. I don't do the driving. I'm up here talking about it in the broadcast booth. So a lot of different strategies could play out with this one. You can see Charles Lewandowski coming down to get service to that machine, and looking like the 99 and the 4. They're going to keep going. They got themselves a little bit of a lead, about 3 seconds on back to Marhefka in the 3rd position, and pretty much everybody up in the top 6 or so still staying out on track. Hopkins, Bollier, Belke, and Kopech back here as well, just crossing the stripe.
Yeah, right now Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We were talking about maybe using the strategy to stay out longer, but the longer you stay out, some of these drivers that have pitted are going to get right back by you as we continue on. As there we see Reagan Parent continuing to ride out there in the 8th spot. Bobby Ship right now in the top 10 having a good run. And I almost called Parent card, as I've done all season long, called him Zane Farrell with the pink and the white there. And that's a driver that we don't see this week. I don't know if he and Lacey had some kind of hot date this evening, and he's not in the field. But we surely miss Zane Farrell and look forward to seeing him back. Matt Shinosky not in the field. But let's talk about some of them that are. Regan Parent, we just said, was on pit road, and I think that's pretty much the top 10 competitors have not pitted. Maybe a few of them pitted during that early yellow, like Brandon Marhefka, who's currently in 9th. And again, another driver struggling to get that car woed down there, and that was our leader, Steven Daddio. He's going to finally come down pit road. Kenny Kibbe is going to stay out another lap.
Yeah, you can see Evan Bollier coming down, Dylan Kopech coming down pit road as well in the number 16 green machine. Kibbe staying out. Hopkins now in 2nd. Belke 3rd. Ryan Salvatore in 4th. And Bobby Ship up in the top 5. And this is where the strategy starts to play out. Nope, just kidding. Kenny Kibbe going to come down pit road this time by. Going to bring a couple of drivers down there with him. That is the 27 car of Brown. Austin Belke going to come down here as well. And take a look at that. We crossed the stripe. New leader under green. The 78 of Magic Mike Hopkins.
Yeah, great job by Mr. Hopkins there in the 78. Although you see the newer, fresher rubber is really coming into play as Brent Roy unlaps himself in the 26 car, and he's probably one of the only ones. And you were talking about Brent Roy forcing the hand. I think Brent is actually ahead on the track of at least Steven Daddio, and now I think he's going to end up ahead of Kenny Kibbe when there he is. He goes by Kenny Kibbe to cycle this around, and Brent Roy, when this all cycles around, I think he might end up being your new leader as Hopkins finally comes down pit road. A few of the other drivers that still are out there, I think, were in earlier in the race, so we still have some different cars out there. Ryan Salvatore now out front, going to try to lead himself a lap as well. Bobby Ship 5 seconds back in 2nd spot. Some drivers that we don't talk about necessarily always being in the top 5, getting some TV time right here.
Ryan Salvatore going to give up the lead, take that 12 car down pit road. Brandon Marhefka going to take over the 2nd spot, and the number 13, Brandon Newhouse, in the number 3. He's going to take over 3rd place now with Salvatore down on pit road, and Ryan Messer, Brian Ship going to be up in the top 5. And we made mention Brent Roy came down pit road early, came down probably 5 laps or so before anybody else. He is just getting around the start-finish line now, and you can see passes Ryan Salvatore on track. He's still down on pit road. Everybody up in front of Brent still has to come down pit road at least one time, so you can see the difference between Roy and Daddio. It's about, they're right there. They're bumper to bumper almost. So definitely a good move for Brent Roy, and I think that's going to kind of, you can see the 99 a little bit quicker there. So maybe Daddio had a good pit stop and has himself a fast car, but this is going to end up being the battle for the lead once everybody comes down, makes those pit stop. Ryan Messer giving up that top 5 to get some service.
Yeah, Daddio seems to be showing that he's the car to beat right now. As like you said, Brent Roy got out front there after that round of pit stops, but in front of Steven Daddio. But Daddio didn't have a terrible pit stop, and he was right there in no time, and has a few extra laps, fresher tires than Roy does. I don't know if that really makes a difference. I think it might be the handling of the car, as Daddio was able to get that lead pretty easily and is pulling away already in the number 99 car. And actually, I shouldn't say that's the lead. He's in 6th right now overall. But like you said, the top 5 yet to pit, once again, is Bobby Ship, taking some time. Both Ship brothers having a good run today, staying out of trouble. We've seen them, both of them technically in their first full season in NEP, doing a good job right now, both inside the top 5. As now we see some of the other competitors coming down pit road. Brandon Newhouse, Brian Ship in the 48. He's getting ready for the regular season at Jennerstown Speedway. And Scott McDonald also coming down pit road. We haven't talked much about him in the 44 this evening, and he gives up a top 10 spot to come down as well. Back to the front, though, Stephen Daddio now finds himself in third.
Really good opportunity to see just how much quicker those fresher tires are on the 99. Look at that scoring tower there on the left-hand side of your screen. Look how quick the 99 is reeling in the leaders. Almost 2 seconds a lap on those fresher tires, coming around to 20 laps to go. Ship still out front. Brandon Marhefka there in second. And you can see the 9-car Ricker driving by with those fresh tires, driving by our leader like he was standing still. So I think it's just a matter of time before the 04 and the 13 come down pit road, unless we get ourselves a late race caution here, which we've seen some crazy things happen here on Verdane TV. Brian Ship looking like he's coming back down pit road in that 48 car. Might have had a speeding penalty on that. There you see the leader get Bobby Ship coming down pit road. He's had enough. He wants some fresh tires for the last 20 laps of this one. The 13 car, Brandon Marhefka, he's going to inherit the lead with 19 laps to go.
Yeah, it kind of gets to the point there. We saw Jason Ricker unlap himself, and he's in 16th spot. So even if you get a yellow and you come down pit road, you're still going to be pretty far back in the field. But Brandon Marhefka is choosing to stay out, at least for now. But I think it's going to be no time that he comes in here shortly as we ride with, is that Stephen Daddio right now in the number 99?
Indeed, it is.
Yeah, and he's catching that number 13, and he actually doesn't even need to catch him as Brandon Marhefka has come down pit road, and Daddio inherits the lead once again as we have 18 laps remaining in the sensitivity. I'm going to get that right once before this night is over. The sensitivity training 65.
A little bit of a mouthful here this evening if it ain't TV, but hey, we're trying to entertain. Steve Daddio holding on to the lead after green flag pit stops. Kenny Kibbe about a second or so back. You can see gaining just a little bit through 3 and 4 that time. Actually gained himself about a tenth or so. Devin Marhefka still has his sights set on the back bumper of the 4-car, running in third. Keith Lord back in fourth, and Brent Roy, the first car to come down pit road, take tires. That 26 car back in the top 5.
Yeah, it seems like that 26 car stabilized a little bit as he rides in fifth right now and has a pretty good cushion on that 6th place car that we just saw a second ago of Evan Boyer, last year's winner at Atlanta. And but yeah, Brent Roy having a good run there in the 26, and I say that, but actually that's Bobby Ship that's passing him now on those fresher tires in the 04. He's going to try to get back towards the front and unlap himself. Right now sees himself a lap down now in the 16th spot. But Bobby Ship doing a good job, though. Once again, his rookie season in NEP, and we have not seen him claim a top 5 finish this season. We probably won't today, but as if he continues to make up some ground there, we could maybe see him crack the top 10 before this evening's over.
Yeah, and that actually could go to his advantage coming down pit road, getting those fresh tires late. You can see the 1-car, Ryan Messer, right up in front of him. Big-time damage in the back, actually missing the entire trunk of that car. You can see Ship's going to go around the 1-car, try and get around the 17 here as well. But this is important. That's the battle for the first car 1 lap down. If the 04 car is able to get around Messer, which I think he will here once they get it all sorted out, just because he's got those fresh tires. If he is the first car a lap down and we get ourselves a late race caution here, that's going to give the 04 car the free pass, get him back on the lead lap, and he's going to have fresher tires than everybody else if they don't come down pit road. So that window very quickly closing, but still a really good opportunity for the 04 car to have some luck.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point, but we saw there lurking behind him was Brandon Newhouse, another car 1 lap down, so he might come into that battle for the first car a lap down as well before this is over. Out front, though, Stephen Daddio is not letting Kenny Kibbe is not letting Stephen Daddio get away. And I don't think we saw Kibbe have the greatest pit stop there and kind of lost some track position, but he's right back up there in that 2nd spot and could have something for Stephen Daddio before this evening's over. And I know Daddio's hungry, though, to get that first win of the season and hold off Kenny Kibbe, the current point leader. But he's going to have his work cut out for him, as we're going to still have 12 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line this time by.
Yeah, Kibbe already having a check in the W column. Wants to be one of the few drivers that have gotten themselves a pair of wins. Reagan Parent has 2 wins. John Peters has 2. Brent Roy scored with 2. One of those was Ryan Messer's win, and I believe that's actually it for the repeat winners here. So Kimmy trying to join some elite company here in the NEP series, but he's going to have to get around Daddio. I think he's got enough time to catch him. As you can see there on the TV tower there on the left-hand side of your screen, that gap went from about a second, 5 laps to go, to about 0.3 of a second, and it's shrinking. So that 4 car definitely smells blood in the water, wants to get to the back bumper of the 99, has time to get there. Does he have enough time? Does he have enough car to be able to get around him?
For sure. And right now we see Devin Marhefka riding in third, and he's still only about 2.5 seconds back. So another driver to continue to watch as we see this lead battle continue on. He's fighting, though, with Dale Glessner right now, who's being scored 3 laps down. We were talking also about, as you see on the scoring pylon, there he is. We were talking about Bobby Shipp being the first car a lap down, and something happened there, and he's back down pit road and is going to give that up. Brandon Newhouse now the first car a lap down in the 15th spot. So Daddio, though, has opened up just a slight, not much, still only about a half second, but it seems like he's got a little bit more of a comfortable lead than he did a couple laps ago, as we're going to be inside 10 laps to go now. As this race winds down, we've seen only 1 yellow flag in the sensitivity training 65. There, I got it right, Paul.
Nailed it. First try. But there you can see crossing the stripe, 0.4, half a second or so between first and second. It's a little ways back to Devin Marhefka here. Has himself a little bit of room to wiggle in front of and behind. So he's able to try a couple of different things on that line. Keith Lord having a solid run in fourth right now. Brent Roy been in the top 5 all night long. Mike Hopkins in the 78 on the outside looking in all over the back bumper on Brent Roy. Now remember, Brent came down pit road about 5-6 laps before anybody else. Those tires are getting squirrely. And there you see the 78 Magic Mike Hopkins going to take advantage, going to go down on the bottom side, try and do a little slide job action up in front of the Camry kid. He's going to jump himself back into the top 5, and he's got a little work cut out for him if he's going to catch that 4th place car, Keith Lord. But anything is possible here if it ain't TV.
That was a little bit of deja vu. I think we saw that a little bit ago before that first round of pit stops, Hopkins getting around Brent Roy. So Hopkins doing a good job running in that 5th spot where he started, and seems to be setting himself up for a solid finish in the number 78 car. And Brent Roy continuing to hold on. He's got Brandon Marhefka a little further back, who is being scored a lap down. Back up front. Oh, well. We've got a slide job going on there. But the 2nd place, Kenny Kibbe, still about a half second back. It's interesting, kind of wonder if you're in the mind of these drivers, is he kind of just hanging back there waiting to pounce, or is he kind of giving it all he has? And I thought I saw him get a little bit loose there coming out of turn 2 a moment ago. But a lot going on still here among the front runners, even though they've spread out.
Yeah, now you've got a mix in of a little bit of lap traffic kind of sprinkled in within the top 10 or so drivers out on track. And, man, with 6 laps to go, we made the joke earlier, there's a lot of room on this racetrack here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the quickest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. And you give these NEP drivers, you give any race car drivers, whether it's real life or sim racing, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And these guys using every inch of this racetrack. As you can see, crossing the stripe here, high five from Barney in the flag stand. 5 to go for the 99 of Daddio, and he's got about a half a second lead over Kibbe, stretching it out just a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely, just little by little stretching it out, but looks like he's going to be catching some slower traffic here coming up, and I think that's Jason Ricker, who is the last car on the lead lap, so I don't think he's going to give up without a fight here in the number 9. The laps are winding down though, so we might see him kind of do the thing where he kind of pulls out of the way. Maybe not, as we come to 4 to go here for the 99 of Stephen Daddio, and now Daddio's gonna Ricker's gonna pull way to the inside there and let Daddio go by, and I'm sure he's probably gonna do the same for Kibbe, as we got a great battle going. Kibbe's lost another 10th though. He's about 0.65 seconds back. Brandon Marhefka, Devin Marhefka, rides in 3rd, and he's lost about a second to these front 2. So it looks like it's going to probably come down to a 2-man race here as we continue on here, and now we only have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, a little onboard action with the leader, Daddio, the 99 car, crossing the stripe. You can see a little bit of distance, a little bit off into the distance, a little bit of lap traffic. That's going to be Corey Casagrande getting ready to potentially go a lap down if there's enough time there. And you can hear just how worn those tires are on the number 99 car, having to let all the way off the throttle to make sure that the back end of the race car doesn't slide up into the outside wall, and doing everything he can to utilize that top side, kind of a middle top groove there. It really seems to be working for him because he put another tenth and a half in between himself and that 4 car, crossing the stripe, popsicle sticks, 2 laps to go here at Atlanta in the sensitivity training 65.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do as he puts a lap on Adam Henry. Steven Daddio doing what he needs to do. I think Kenny Kibbe's going to need a mistake out of the 99 to capture that second win of the season for himself. As we continue to wind things down, we're coming through 3 and 4, and Steven Daddio is going to see the white flag this time by. We'll see what the interval is this time by. It's still about 0.7 of a second, so Daddio just needs to turn in another pretty decently flawless lap, I'll call it, as Kibbe's been just a tick slower than Daddio each time by. I think he might have given it his all as we roll down the backstretch. Call them home here, Paul.
Yeah, Daddio all the way up on the high side. Nice, easy into 3 and 4. You don't want to mess up on the last lap, and he sees it. Checkered flag waving here off in the distance, crossing the stripe. P1, Daddio in the 99 car. Kenny Kibbe going to roll in second. Devin Marhefka in third. Keith Lord going to finish in fourth. And tonight's sponsor of the Sensitivity Training 65 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. How about it from Mike Hopkins?
Yeah, great run for Hopkins, and I believe that, yes, it's his first top 5 of the season. So a solid run for Mike Hopkins there in the 5th spot. Evan Boyer turned in a decent run there in 6th. Wasn't a contender for the victory, but turned in a solid run. Brent Roy holds on for 7th. Dylan Kopech, we didn't talk much about him, but he finishes 8th. Reagan Parent and Austin Belke round out the top 10.
Daddio getting ready to burn him down there on the front straightaway, and you can see the finishing order on your screen. Great race here at Atlanta. Always putting on a heck of a show here, and when you get a good group of racers at a good racetrack, it really kind of puts 2 and 2 together and gives us 4. And not even going to give Daddio an opportunity to burn all those tires off. I think you've caught up with him in car. Steve Daddio is with Aaron Creed.
Steven, great job, and winner at last this season in NEP. How does it feel to take home the victory? A pretty dominating victory here at Atlanta.
It feels pretty good, Aaron. That was a long time coming. I feel like we've had such a good year, and we've been so fast and up front. I feel like in every race, and for whatever reason, it never really bounced our way. So this one, we got a nice long green flag run, which suits my style. Nailed the pit stop and came out up front, clean air. I mean, it was a lot of fun to drive. This is a tough track in traffic, but when you're out front, it's just feel like you're on cruise control. It was a great win for the team. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and we saw what the pit strategy was a little bit different. Brent Roy kind of was trying to use the strategy to force everyone's hand, but you and Kenny Kibbe both stayed out there a little longer. Was that kind of the plan the whole time going through?
I knew the short shifts or the short pits were coming. This track, again, it's so abrasive. I mean, you kind of got to save your tires for the hot laps at the end if you get in trouble. So I was wondering when who was going to go first, and I figured it'd be Brent. He's done it multiple times and has capitalized on that strategy. But I figured, 5 or 6 more laps, probably the sweet spot for where we needed to be if it was going to be a green flag run. So it worked out. Like I said, we executed and got the win.
Now, with 4 races remaining in the season, you have a whole lot of momentum, both from your own performance and also your good friend J.R. Shepard filled in a couple times there recently. Lots of momentum on your side here coming down to the wire. And how do you feel coming into these final 4 races?
I feel good. These next 4 tracks, they do suit me. I feel like I've come into my own. I believe we got the road course up next. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm good on the road now. And the short tracks are, Stafford's probably going to be a little tough, but I think Motegi and Dover, was pushing Evan to the line last year. So I feel pretty good. Maybe we give Kebby a run at the end. I don't know. He's got 30 points, I think, or something like that on me. But I'm I don't know. Should be exciting. It'll be a lot of fun for sure.
All right, who helps you get it to victory lane here?
Dad, it was auto parts all over the car. It's awesome having my dad shop on the car with the black, the red and the white. It's what we ran growing up, and I'm glad I got it out here in Victory Lane. Reverie Brewing, always love having them on. Good beer up in Newtown, Connecticut. So if you're in the area, stop by. Friends, family, always watching, and I'm a new dad, and my son Jordan was born last Saturday, so this feels like maybe I got a bit of a baby gift here, a little extra boost. So I'm gonna shout out my son Jordan. He is just over a week old now.
Wow! So congratulations in order on multiple topics right there. Congratulations, Steven.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. A lot of fun as always.
Paul, are you with our current point leader?
That I am. Another solid points night for the floor crew. Kenny Kibbe coming home with a podium finish here. Right where he qualified. Kenny, talk to us. You got to be feeling pretty good heading into these last 4 races.
Yeah, I feel great about the race today and our result. Just kind of ran our own race, and I felt really confident about Atlanta. Last year we were really good here. Just the strategy flipped on its head and didn't work out. But today we were actually allowed to let the race play out kind of the way we wanted it to, and made a nice green flag pit stop and raced it to the end, kind of old school like. And those are the kind of races that I really enjoy and I'm good at. So just kind of raced the racetrack today, and it ended up with a good result.
Yeah, and a solid points night as well. Just looking at the points before the race, 26 points. The cushion between yourself and Reagan Parent. Reagan not up in the top 10. He's there in 9th, looks like. So it's a little bit of a distance there, a little bit of a gap pushed on Daddio there in 3rd in points as well. So heading off to the road course next week. Couple of short ovals coming up the last 3 races. What do you got for him? You think we're going to be seeing hashtag and new at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, hope so. I mean, we keep padding the lead for the most part, so that's a good thing, and just trying to stay consistent. I mean, I'm getting towards the end of the season here. I'm not really taking as many risks as maybe I could, which has led us to probably getting less wins than we maybe could have, but it's allowing us to just get these solid runs every week, and I'm perfectly fine with that at this point. Just running up front and consistent and having a good time with it. And yeah, road course next. I love the road courses, so that should be fun. Motegi could be kind of a wild card, but I'm in Dover I really like. So I think for the most part, things should be pretty good for us.
Good things coming up the last little bit here in the season. Want to give you an opportunity here, Kenny. Thank anybody that helps make it happen in the virtual world and the sim world here for the number 4 team.
Well, first, a big shout out to Steve, and I know he's been really wanting a win, and he got it this tonight, and he ran just a fantastic race. So congrats to him and everybody at Four Wide Weaponry. So him and Ryan Salvatore, Austin Belkey, they had solid races as well. And our satellite teammate there, Devin Marhefka, good run for him too. So great run for our whole group. It's funny how things play out so nicely for us when we're actually allowed to let races play out instead of, dealing with a bunch of restarts and things like that. But so shout out to all of them guys, everybody that rides on board with me on Twitch, you guys at Vidane TV for the broadcast, and everybody at NEP Shift Marking and Design for allowing us to come here and race every week.
Solid run here, building that momentum up for the end of the season. Congratulations, man. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And Aaron, you're down just a little bit further on down the virtual pit road, picking up 5 spots on the evening. Devin Marhefka finishing in 3rd in the 22 car.
Yeah, solid run, Devin. Great job. And how do you feel about this podium run?
Honestly, I'm pretty excited because I really thought I was going to be about 15th on back the entire night based on practice. So honestly, just kind of listened to Kenny on what to do, and worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, and it looked like you were able to keep up with those top 2 drivers. And were you just basically trying your best to follow Kenny's line and see if you potentially had something there coming down the stretch?
Honestly, I was just kind of wrapping the bottom the whole race. I didn't want to burn out my stuff, but I once Kenny caught me on that second set of tires, I pretty much just let him by. I knew I didn't have anything for him, and I didn't want to catch racing Kenny and let whoever was behind me catch up. So I just figured I was good with third because I knew he was going to get me at some point.
Now next week we're going to I think it's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Turning left and right. How are you feeling about that?
The only time I know how to make a right turn real well is getting it out of the hauler, and I even wreck that sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm typically pretty decent at the road courses. I tend not to drive it off track most of the time. So if I can do that, I'll be happy.
All right. Who helps you get it done here for the third place run?
My mom, my dad, my brother, Powered Allied Milk, FFX, Burke Towing, bunch of people that help us on the real cars at Jennerstown and a couple other tracks this year. Pretty excited about that. So thank you to all them, and excited to run well here.
All right, that's Pennsylvania's Devin Marhafka finishing third. And next week, Paul, we're going left and right. Are you looking forward to maybe seeing some sailboat fuel there in Quebec?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Always an entertaining race at that racetrack. My French isn't very good, so I'm going to give it 7 days before I start. I'm going to keep practicing the name. We'll see if we get it right next Thursday night, where it's NEPs night in Canada for the first time this season. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. You'll catch that here next Thursday night, and you can't have yourself a top 5 run as a sponsor and not talk to this guy, Magic Mike Hopkins, coming home with a top 5 qualifying effort and a top 5 finish. Mikey, talk to us, man. Great run.
Heyo, thank you. Appreciate that. How you guys doing tonight? Good?
Good. Yeah, great race here tonight. And man, that 78 car was pretty stout for the sensitivity training 65.
Yeah, I'll tell you that if you had the day that I had, you would come home and go, you know what? I'm just going to drink my face off and sit on the couch. I decided to drink and race tonight, and I'll tell you, practice was rough. I'm like, man, this isn't going to be good. And I did a little recon in our practice before, and some guys on the top side. So I stuck to the top all day, and look at it, top 5 for that might be my second top 5 qualifying effort. You know, because when you're that bad, you have those stats to remember. And did a good job on pit road and came home 5th. I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Cars in one piece. So Vidane TV always doesn't condone drinking and racing, although in the sim racing world, sometimes we like to partake.
Yeah, 100%. If I wasn't partaking while participating in this video game, something's definitely wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Got to give you an opportunity to hold on to that microphone for just a few more seconds. Who makes it happen? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Roger that. Appreciate it. My wallet, number 1. Number 2, Skips Outdoor Accents. If you're looking for a shed, go to sheds.net, wherever you are. O'Sullivan Welding, Industrial Material Handling, Dirt Farm Racing, and brand new sponsor this year. We haven't made any money yet, but Hopkins Fabrication for all your welding needs. Hit us up.
100%. That's going to put a cap on it here tonight. Great race here at Atlanta for the Sensitivity Training 65. Doesn't look like there's too many mad folks down at the tech shed, so should be a relatively short night for the folks, for the race officials, Corey Casagrande, all those guys down there. Taking a look at the tapes and everything like that. But Aaron, on to the road course next week. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we might both have to get that Duolingo app and practice our French as we go. But I'm going to hop in my helicopter and make my way north of the border here very soon.
100%. We'll be back next week, Tuesday night, Liberty Racing League, Wednesday night, the RBR Maritime Group, and Thursday night, NEP night in Canada. And we'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we will be doing it live.